Hey folks, this is Vincent Ali with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Awkward Guess 2, the Berwick Cases. This game supports 2 players. It's for ages 12 and up, and the average play time is 30 to 40 minutes. This is another one of those cozy game at night sessions. We've spent some time tonight with this game.
Awkward, don't look at me.
It's so awkward. So we, just as a heads up, we've played the first game, Awkward Guests, a lot. Mainly the solo mode. We did that. We turned it into a co-op thing. Awkward Guess 2 is strictly competitive, and it's only for 2 players, and it does things different. I did release an unboxing video, so if you want to check out all the different components that come with the game, it's all in that video. This video is going to be sort of dedicated to how our play session went and what we thought. And there's no spoilers here because each answer key is filled out beforehand by the players. So there's no set solution that you have to worry about memorizing. So the way this works is, at least in our play session, I was the investigator for, it's Berenice here, but I call her Bernice. In the preview build that I got from the developer, it was Bernice. They, I guess, since changed it to Berenice. I don't know what the difference is.
Maybe it's a typo.
I don't know. But it's a typo everywhere if that's the case.
Yeah.
Maybe in different parts of the world there is a Berenice and it's more common. I don't know.
Or maybe it is actually pronounced Bernice, even though
maybe the second E is silent.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I was the investigator for the Berenice case. She developed the answer key for the Berenice case. Likewise, I created the answer key for the Beatrice case, and she had to figure out what I had written down here. So we were both trying to solve a mystery, and we were one side had the answer key for the other player, and the other side was our work that we used to try and reason out what they had put in their answer key. So as you can see, this side is a bit more messy because I was trying to figure out who the killer was and what path they took and so on. The way it works in this game is that on the very bottom are 4 rooms. Those are the starting rooms that the 6 suspects start in. And one of them is going to progress through the mansion through 4 connected rooms. There's going to be 4 connections total that they walk through, set by the other player, of course. And they get to the very top room, which is the murder scene. So we have to kind of figure out who went through the house and kind of what path they took to kind of get a feel of what weapons they could have taken along the way, because you have to figure out what weapon they had. And there's a whole slew of weapons on the bottom right here. Each weapon has different attributes to them, like some leave powder residue, others leave blood, others are smelly, and you're going to be crossing off evidence types. So if we know that one doesn't have these little blood symbols, then we can cross off every weapon that has a blood attribute associated with it. And then likewise, when it comes to figuring out the person, there's 6 people, and there's 3 columns per person. That's kind of like their motive stuff. And in order for someone to be a murderer, in the very beginning of the game, each player is going to choose a murderer. In this case, I chose Quentin Quills as the murderer that she had to figure out. And then I picked column number 7 and checked all of those boxes. So that's the only column with all checked boxes. But I could lay trap, I can put false evidences by, in the beginning of the game, checking off 5 of the different letters, like the E and R here under the Y, and the Z under the R, and the E under the D for Duncan. So those are false evidences, false motives, whatever. And, if she finds them, then she may think that they're the killer, but they're not really. Mm-hmm. She's looking for the person that has all 3 check boxes all down the column there, in this case, number 7. And I was likewise trying to find whatever column she had picked. There's also this evidence. There's a magnifying glass there to the left, and there's a bunch of items. We're going to be trying to find those items as well. And there's also a favorite weapon type here. Whenever we assign the killer, we're going to circle their favorite weapon and associate that with that down there. And then everyone else is also going to be assigned a fake favorite weapon that could lead the players off the track. There's more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. I'm creating an answer key for her, and she's trying to figure it out. And this is the answer for her puzzle. And likewise, she had something written on the top of her answer sheet. And at the during the game, let's get to that first. During the game, it's going to start with the Beatrice side. This is the main board. It's going to start with the Beatrice side. We take turns with this. And in this case, she went first. She was trying to figure out the Beatrice information. So she would roll the dice, and she can keep the ones that she wanted, and then re-roll one more time. You can also give up a die to change a die to any side that you want. Once you are happy with your results, you assign them to the board, and then you resolve them one at a time. I'm not going to go over each and every one. I don't have time for that. Go check out, the rulebook or other things. There is a rulebook available. So you're going to assign these dice to the various spaces on the board, and then you're going to pick which ones you want to resolve one at a time. And using these, and the other player has to answer truthfully all the time. Mm-hmm. And using the information you get, you're going to be crossing off stuff on your little answer key. Now, your player board is a protector so that you can mark down evidence secretly. This is the whole setup process for, like, you're setting up an answer key for the other player. This is how you do it. Steps 1 through 8. There's a lot there. And then this side of it is, these are the different dice faces and what evidence the other player will be giving you based on where you assign these dice. So that's what that is. There's decks of cards here related to these dice faces, and when you pick certain dice, you can draw cards. These will eliminate paths and weapons that could not be it. Because at the beginning of the game during setup, you're going to remove the 2 attributes belonging to the weapon you chose from the deck. So these are the murder weapon attributes, but you're going to remove them. So when you're drawing these cards, you're eliminating what it isn't. Same with the paths. You're gonna figure out what path the killer took to get to the bedroom, and you're going to remove those pathing connections from the deck. So whenever your opponent draws them, she can eliminate which ones they are. Mm-hmm. That's it. And the round goes like this. Beatrice takes, the player investigating the Beatrice case takes their turn, resolves their dice. Then the player investigating Berenice takes their turn, rolls the dice. There was a third one somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, rolls their dice, gets them more information. And then once both players have done that, they're going to secretly choose one of their 2 cards and reveal it at the same time. This one means that they're not ready to solve the case. This one means they are ready to solve the case. They simultaneously reveal those cards. And if the player picks this, they have to guess correctly the 3 things. And again, that's related to the answer key here. They have to get the initial of the killer. They have to get the column of the 3 check boxes that was originally chosen here. And they have to guess the correct murder weapon. And the murder weapon has to be along the path that was chosen to get to the bedroom. So 14 was, I can't see very well, but yeah, my path was like connection. So the killer Q started in this room, went up this way, grabbed 14 along the way here, and then went up to the bedroom. That's the path. Mm-hmm. So whenever you're agreeing to guess, you have the initial of the person, the column, and the killer, or the murder weapon. And if you get all 3 correct, you win. If you get it wrong, you cross off one of the boxes. If you guess wrong 3 times, you immediately lose the game. Any other player wins. Mm. So that's it. There's no other penalty as far as I can tell. Mm. So with that 9-minute monologue out of the way, let's get to you.
Oh, 9 minutes?
Yeah, well, I talk a lot. What did you think?
It was okay. Not my favorite. I definitely prefer the first one. It's a lot of pressure to come up with your own little scenario. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to decipher like whether or not I should start off with a room that has 3 connections or start off with, one that only has 2. And I'm like, okay, let me make it a little difficult for him because he's a smart guy. So, but it was a little difficult. It's very sweaty.
Yeah, there are multiple ways to come at getting the answer. Yeah. And I was kind of all over the place because I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. You figured out who the killer was almost immediately. And not immediately, but like you figured them out sooner than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And you found them out because one of the evidences that you can ask for is, did anyone that you're gonna? Okay, let me backtrack. There is this action here, which is it the help? Yeah, it's the help, and you're gonna put it on a room. You're gonna put it on. You're gonna put it on a room. There's a lot of stuff. You're gonna put the help vest thing on a room. In this case, let's just say that.
Was it the vest one or
the vest?
The investigator.
Yeah, the vest. So you're gonna put it on the room, and you're gonna ask. In the normal rules, I would cross off 3 letters of people that didn't go through that room.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an optional rule that says the investigator picks 2 cards they want to know about, and I have to answer truthfully, did they go through that room?
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to use the optional rule here because we can totally cheese it with the original rules.
Yeah.
Like, had we used the original rules, I would have given her initials for 3 people that are not the killer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she visited that same room again, I'd give her the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. And you can't reinvestigate a room on the 3rd attempt. You can't get that last initial. You can't get that last letter of the name. So like we're thinking, there's an easy way to cheese that, and the other player will never figure that out. Mm-hmm. So we did the optional rule where you pick 2 suspect cards, and I have to answer, did they go through that room?
Yeah.
And she did Q and E, I think, and I said, yeah, Q went through there.
Yeah.
So knowing, and the suspect is the only person that moves through the house. Mm-hmm. So once you get a yes on any of that optional rule, you found your killer because they're the only ones that left the starting room.
Yeah.
So that's the only downside to the optional rule. If you're lucky, it's almost game over at that point.
Yeah.
So like, there's a risk to you. This one is a bit more strategic. This one, on the other hand, is a bit more like cautious, and it can be cheesed.
It eliminates quite a bit of people. Like, if we had used that original rule, there probably would have been a possibility where I would have gone another round and you would have guessed and you probably would have won, but that was tough. It was actually really tough. Despite me getting a lot of answers really early, it was kind of tough. I loved that they implemented the Beatrice and Bernice from the first game.
Yeah, Beatrice and Bernice were twins and suspects from the original Awkward Guess game.
I thought that was really cool.
And now they're the deceased. Mr. Walton was the dead person in the original. Mm-hmm. And now the Bernice sisters were suspects in that. And now they are the dead ones in the sequel.
I don't like the whole alternating of being an investigator and being the mastermind.
It is a lot of setup.
Yeah.
The act of putting together our answer key for the first time, it was tiresome. Mm-hmm. Like it was a lot of work. And on one hand, it ensures that every playthrough is different.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about finding the same case in the back of the book, so there's a lot of replayability. On that end of it, first-time players are going to have, there's a lot of information on this sheet, a lot. And until you've played this at least once, it's just not going to click. Mm-hmm. Unless you're like super good with Euro games and you're used to it. Mm-hmm. So like when I was putting together my answer key, we went through it one at a time, one step at a time, and even then you had made a mistake you had crossed off a row instead of a column on like this.
The thing is that these guys are actually not that bad. With you explaining it at the same time looking at this, it's pretty doable. It was just a lot, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup. Yeah,
and I did make a mistake, but looking at this image, I was like, wait a second, I did do this wrong.
Yeah.
But it was okay. I would rather play the first one because it's easier, and I don't know. It's easier in the sense that it's easier to set up, and it's a little easier to understand because there's like an app that kind of guides you a little bit.
For the solo version, anyway.
Yeah.
Because in competitive mode, you have cards.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. The competitive mode, we haven't done much.
We played it once, and after that, we decided, I didn't like it, and we just decided to stream solo for our friends.
Yeah.
So that we could all work on it together. We enjoyed that 10
fun.
times more than the competitive mode. And it's unfortunate that there isn't a solo or co-op. I know it's a 2-player game, but I wish they maybe could make an app in the future similar to the first game.
Yeah.
I wish they would do something like that. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I'm not going to develop a game for them.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I like, though, that we came at our investigations from different angles. I had all but 2 weapons eliminated. And so if you want to know who won, she had the answer for sure. She had figured it out, and I had one final turn before I had to guess. I had a 1 in 4 shot.
And you got it, though.
I got it.
That was awesome.
So it was either going to be E, Y, or Q. And because there's 4 connections involved, it was either going to go, they couldn't have gone this way because I had drawn path cards. So it was like this way, 3, 4. And the only weapon along the way was 15. So I'm like, okay, one of these 3 took that weapon and went in there. Or R went up to 3, 4 and took weapon 20. And I'm like, okay, if I were her, I would pick the room. I would put my suspect with the room with other people to throw me off.
Yeah.
So it's one of these 3. And earlier I had confirmed that the bathtub was a check mark. That doesn't mean everything, though, because at the beginning of the game you can cross off 5 motives as fake motives and 3 of these evidences as fake evidences. So this bathtub could have been a fake one.
Yeah.
But it's the only one I had. So I took the chance, a 1 in 4 chance, I guess, and I got it right. So we both guessed correctly, but there's a tiebreaker. Whoever guessed the least correct, or whoever
had the least amount of cards that they.
Oh no, the first tiebreaker is who if you guessed wrong prior, that would have gone against you in the tiebreaker.
Okay.
But we had not guessed at all, either of us. So that was our first time guessing. So there was another tiebreaker. And that was how many cards did we draw from our evidences to figure that out.
Yeah.
She had like 13 cards, I had 16.
Yeah.
So she won the tiebreaker by like 3 cards. So I think she would have won because she knew and I guessed. So it was like she did better than me on that front. But like I came at it first. I was going after motives, and that really wasn't working. So then I tried figuring out. Yeah. Well, yes. I started figuring out where the starting rooms were of everybody, and then eliminating paths so that I could figure out what weapons they could have grabbed, and I was stuck with like two different paths. And
I went heavy on pathing and weapons.
Pathing and weapons.
This I was having a heck of a time, like the motive part.
The motive part,
that was tough.
But you had guessed Q and Y as like, did they talk to each other? And they had not. So you had crossed off. Once you knew who Q was the killer.
I knew that.
You had asked about Y and Q. So this was a no. I should have marked one of these as a check, as a false evidence.
I thought that's what you did.
I did. I'm an idiot. I didn't. So had I done that, you may have guessed wrong.
Maybe. And
I would have gotten an extra round or something. I may have won. I don't know. So in the future, I'm going to put more false evidences on my killer, I think. But yeah, that was, I enjoyed it, but it was more work than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's different. The dice, there's a mechanic in here where you can give up a die to change another die to any type that you want. We never used that. You used it once, and that was only toward the end because you needed something specific.
Yeah.
Any other time, that rule just never came into play.
I feel like you kind of shoot yourself in the foot if you do that, because that's just less evidence
that you're getting every turn.
Yeah.
Right. That just makes sense to me. So all in all, you liked the first one better.
Much better.
Would you play this again?
No.
Really?
No. It's too... I don't want to come up with my own case. I don't. I feel weird about it. Like, I'm not a good policeman or detective.
You won the game, though.
Still, I like AI stuff. What can I say?
So you like games like Alchemists and other games that the app gives you, like, generates an answer key for you, and both players are racing to figure it out.
Yeah, I like stuff like that because it's like you really have to kind of know your partner and like. All right, what would he do? You know, what? I thought you would guess right off the bat who the killer was because I picked this lady and she looks like a killer. She looks crazy-eyed, and I only picked her because of that.
I wasn't even thinking that.
And then I picked.
I'm too logical.
Her weapon. I picked her weapon, the shape of her weapon, because it looked like her face, like a money bag face.
What was her weapon?
It was number 15.
Right.
It looked like a money bag face. Oh, maybe on yours. Maybe it was yours.
I think they're the same.
No, they're not the same.
Yeah, they're the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
The rooms are different.
The layout is different, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, number 15.
Yeah, so I picked the weapon because of her face.
Jeez.
And they matched.
Okay. I had no thought on that.
Oh, okay.
I did not. My logical mind was going, this is the data, and this is what I know. I did not think about, this isn't Dixit. Like, I wasn't trying to get in your head with symbols and abstractness. I didn't.
I thought this guy was the killer. I was really pushing for him, but I found out early on that he wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then I found out early on she definitely wasn't the killer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, it's gotta be this woman. She must be like a Catholic teacher that, he used to have.
You're looking way too much into this.
Probably.
Way too much into this.
But that's why I get nervous about playing games like this.
You want to know why I picked Q?
Star Trek.
Star Trek character Q.
Yeah, okay.
That
I'm
like,
sense.
which I was like.
Impractical Joker Q.
Well, I don't watch Impractical Jokers as much as I watch Star Trek.
Yeah, that's true.
Fun fact, in Star Trek Picard Season 2, Q... from Impractical Jokers, Brian Quinn, makes a cameo.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was like his nickname is Q. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Oh, okay. I just thought it was interesting. Anyway.
Is there a character named Z?
Actually, in First Contact.
Is there?
Alice Woodward, Zephyrin Cochrane's assistant on the surface.
All right, the main question is, does the assistant look like this?
No, the assistant calls Zephyrin Cochrane Z. Z, you've had enough. You can't go up there with a drunken pilot.
Okay.
No? Okay. I know my Star Trek.
If Awkward Guess had a Star Trek theme, that would be awesome.
Yes.
I would actually play that. I would.
Reskin it for Star Trek. The copyright on that and the licensing fees would be through the roof probably.
True.
All right, so all that nuttiness aside, I liked this game. I liked it.
Would you play it again?
I would play it again, but I prefer Awkward Guest 1 solo and co-op mode to competitive. And I think that's true of any game I play. Because I'm not big on competitive games. I'm big on cooperative. Yeah. Because I like working together with friends and family, not trying to it's all in fun, I get that, but I don't want to make them feel stupid either if I win.
Yeah, like I kind of felt bad when I won. I was like, oh.
Well, no, I'm happy that you deserved to win because again, you had guessed it exactly, and I had 1 in 4 chance of guessing it, so it only made sense.
Not only that, I love logic puzzles. Like this is a game that's up my alley. I love stuff like this. It's such a sweaty game, and again, you have to kind of know your partner. I love this book, whatever this book is.
It's a war book. That's this. I have this in the unboxing. These are extras that came with it. This is like so instead of using pen and paper,
use the markers.
There are markers in the special section.
Why did we use that?
Because
that's awesome.
They're because of the glare.
What about this stuff? What is that?
I think like in place of the cards, you can pick which people you want to ask about.
That's amazing. You can see their whole body. I would pick their weapon off the shape of their body.
such a nice person. Okay.
Oh, no.
You look like a candlestick.
Oh, actually, that's a question I had. What is number 15? What weapon is that? I have no idea.
Well,
what weapon that is. And thank you if you actually watched this far.
25 minutes in.
Oh my gosh.
What are the letters on that? I'm having a hard time reading that.
Oh, now I do feel bad. This is based off of a real person.
How dare you?
I feel so bad. The art is fantastic. I'm just saying.
I didn't want to mention that, but now that you did. Number 15. I can't read the letters on that bottle.
It's like HN2.
It might be poison, if I had to guess.
Oh, they have a gallery here.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll be.
Is there a number 15 on there? Oh, there you go. So yeah, that's like, this is the extra lore stuff, and this was special stuff that came with
Ammonia.
it. Ammonia.
That's awesome.
NH4OH, yes.
Yeah.
Nitrogen, hydrogen.
This is
quad,
really cool.
quad 4 hydrogen, whatever.
I would play this if it was like super casual like now, and I would actually go through the story. I don't know, it's cute, it's cool, I love the lore. I just wish it was more co-op.
Yeah, me too. I because we have awkward guests 1 already, I would rather play the co-op version of that than play competitive. But I would play this again, given the option, if the other wasn't available.
If other people wanted to play, like
Right.
if it was a group, I wouldn't mind playing.
Those that like logic puzzles. This is lighter, I think, than, say, Alchemists. Alchemist took 3 hours to play. This one took like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. Little Alchemist.
Little Alchemist is
awesome,
easier.
though.
Yeah. Well, it's for smaller kids, too.
Yeah.
So, more casual. Well, all right, 26 minutes in, we're done.
Wow. Thank you guys for sticking
Yeah,
through
thanks
it.
for sticking through this. Awkward Guest 2. This is Vincent Idley. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.